What up? I'm Trevor Pelkin, and this is the Braves TomaBlog. In the last 6 days or so, the Braves front office has been the most busy in baseball, and isn't that weird? It's likely due to the fact that they're also the most busy front office when it comes to controlling the Major League lineup. But you know what? That's what they do right now. This is my take on what's going on, is that the Braves were playing this year with a 500 team. That really was a 500 team. They had Brandon Phillips at second, they had Matt Adams at first, and they were playing Freddie Freeman at third base. They had Jim Johnson as the closer. They were filled with veterans at pretty key positions. The schedule said by by August 1st, that's not the case anymore. And so after the trade deadline came and went, they didn't move the guys that they wanted to move. They pulled off the veil, and they revealed to everyone the season that they were trying to have, which is not a winning one. And then the Braves front office did what they love to do even more than that, which is to move players after the non-waiver trade deadline. I like this move. It's a good move. Ventura was having a good season. He's a roam outfielder who's hitting .294. This is who he is. He's a speed-first prospect. And I will admit that I had never heard of him until this trade had gone down. But he was having a good season, so they moved him. They might have sold high on him, or he might be promising. I don't know. I don't know who he is. They moved him for international money. Here's why I still think it's a good deal, no matter who he is that he's just a speed-first prospect. And you guys know how I feel about these speed-first prospects. There's so many of them, and there's not a high need for them. There are about 30 in every Major League farm systems, and there's about 2 spots you need on the Major League roster for guys who can hit 5 home runs and steal 30 bases. There's just so many of those guys available. And in the minor leagues, we already have Ronald Acuna, Ozzie Albies, Christian Pache, Darian Cruz, Anthony Seymour. There's just enough speed, and there's not that high of a need for it. So reallocate that good season into more international money, allocate that into a higher ceiling 16-year-old. Then they moved Sean Rodriguez to Pittsburgh for Connor Joe. I like this move too. I had never heard of Connor Joe, and I don't know if I'll ever hear from Sean Rodriguez again. He wasn't playing that well. Now, I know about the car accident and everything. He just wasn't playing that well. I was disappointed because I thought it was a really good sign when they made it, and the car accident kind of ruined that. I hope it works out with him in Pittsburgh. So Connor Joe is a pretty good hitter. What he is he's one of those first base outfield type guys. You put him where you can put him because he's a pretty good bat, but what he really is he's a catcher convert. So what I'm assuming that the Braves are going to do is, like with Alex Jackson, they're going to put him back at catcher. I really like this move because they're continuing to do something they've already started doing. It's nice when you get to see your team implementing an organizational strategy. They're getting players that used to be catchers and they're making them catchers again, which goes against the wind in all of Major League Baseball, that there's this horrible trend where teams they draft catchers and then they move them out of the catching position because they want to move their bats along quicker. And that's a terrible habit, and what has resulted in it is a shortage of catchers at the Major League level. So if teams don't want to develop their catchers, that's fine. Give them to us. We will develop the catchers, and you can buy them from us when you need Major League catchers again. I really like the organizational strategy. I really like the business prowess of it, and I really like that they continue to implement it. So Sean Rodriguez will be an extra player on Pittsburgh's roster. That's what he was for us. That's fine. That can all work out. Our roster was getting crowded for next year anyway, and I think that we can sign another guy like him in the offseason without much difficulty. If what the team is trying to do now is tank, I will say it is working. We are now 8 games under 500, and about 12 games ago we were at 500. It's not going well. The team's been doing poorly, and again, if we're tanking, it's working. Because right now we're slated for the 9th overall pick, and we're right in the mix within a half game of multiple teams. If we really have a bad 2 months, we will end up with another top 5 pick. I'm not saying that that's what I want. What I would love to see is for these prospects to get up here and do well, and we win some games like last year. But again, it doesn't really matter if that happens. You saw last year we won those 12 out of 13 at the end of it, then we lose 5 out of our first 6 this year. It just doesn't translate. So if they get up here and we lose a bunch of games, it really doesn't matter for next year. So again, I'm fine with that. If we end up with another top 5 draft pick, I won't be complaining come June or July when I think about our record from 2017. I will be a little bummed out because the team was winning and now they're not, but the veil is up at this point. It's August. We know what we are, and that's okay. It's not shocking. The front office is taking the long view and everything, and that's what the front office should be doing. It's okay if fans like me can get a little excited at times. I can dial it back and I can see what the case is, and I'm going to see the silver lining in it. So let me know what you guys think of the moves that have been made, moving Phillips to third, putting Freeman back at first, taking Adams out of the lineup, putting Vizciano is the closer, moving Randy Ventura, and moving Sean Rodriguez. Let me know what you guys think of any of these. I'm really curious to know what you guys' take on what's going on with the Braves right now is, because there's a lot of moving parts. So yeah, let me know. I'm Shep Apelka. This is Braves TomaBlog. It's a YouTube channel where I talk about the Braves and I talk about baseball in general. So I really hope you enjoy watching, and go Braves.